Big Drive Energy Monday edition. We're going to talk about Ryan Fox's incredible playoff victory over Sam Burns in the RBC Canadian Open. Joaquin Niemann won again. He's won every other event he's played on the Live Tour this year. What does that mean for the upcoming U.S. Open? We're not going to talk too much about the U.S. Open. We're going to have a show same time, noon Eastern time on Wednesday. So make sure to check that out for the full U.S. Open preview. Rory McIlroy struggled this week. What does that mean for his game going into another major? And then the state of our golf games as well. We've played a fair amount of golf over this start of June, so we're going to talk about our golf games. And we have, as always, a Mulligan Monday. All right, let's tee it up. Big Drive Energy Monday edition. Let's start it off with the elephant in the room. My beard is gone, and I absolutely hate it.
Your chin is back. You do look younger. You look pretty young. Yeah, I haven't seen you with this short of facial hair in, it feels like years.
If you're not watching this on the YouTube and you're listening to the audio version, go check it out. Check out my beautiful shaved face on the YouTube. I never said that I said I would never allow my chin to show again, but I've lied. And really, it was kind of a mistake. Not really an entirely mistake. I did want to shave my beard yesterday because it was getting in my mouth right here. Like this part was getting long, and I shaved the bottom of it so it doesn't get like grow down to my chest area, which I don't think it really would anyways. It wouldn't be a great look for me. But I usually have my chin covered up, and I went to shave it, and I think I just used too short of a razor, because once I started shaving it off, I was like, oh my God, this is disappearing and this is not good. But it's kind of nice to get like a reset on my beard. So now all the hair that grows out hopefully is a little more, a little bit more like the others, fresh and just like equal distant to each other, because sometimes I I don't know what the word is, but sometimes I get these beard hairs that just like are way longer than all the others. Now they're all starting with it's like a fresh lawn. They're all starting with the same distance, and they can grow from there.
But I do think that beards are similar to lawns, where you'll just get a random super long hair in there where you're like, where the fuck did this come from? You have no idea how it's so long compared to all the other hairs, but then you end up like pulling it out. It is kind of weird, like, pause, but I can see your lips a lot right now, which I don't feel like I used to be able to do. And it's a little weird. I don't know. I mean, you got nice lips on you.
Oh, thank you. I still don't have as much hair on the front of my chin as I would desire, because that sometimes in different light, I'm like there's this light at the gym in the mornings in the room that I go to, where it's like,
don't take your hat off.
No, I don't take my hat off. I work out with a hat now. Once I grow my hair out a little bit, I definitely always work out with a hat. But I go into this room in the gym and I look in the mirrors, and it's like a darker blue light. And I'm like, I don't have any fucking hair on my chin. It's all underneath. I got the Andrew Luck neck beard just so flush that it's like I can't get this to grow. I want this to grow. So it makes it look like I have a beard when I don't have a beard.
What's kind of weird, though, is I have a lot of hair, but it's all blonde. Like this whole area of my chin is all blonde, and a lot of my soul patch is blonde. And then I've even gotten like whites and blondes here, and like I have spots down here where it looks like I don't have a beard, but it's all white hair. Like it's the weirdest fucking thing. I've just got like a calico looking beard if you look at it up close, but it's not all dark. So maybe I'll dye my beard one day, just see what the fuck it looks like. Let's talk about our golf games, because I've played a lot of golf lately. And first of all, I'm going to play golf after this, so that's why I'm dressed this way. And the funny part is, if you're on the YouTube watching this, I usually button like one button on my shirt, and maybe it's just because I have a thick fucking neck. I have that Clinton Portis, that who else? The Ray Lewis, the Ed Reed. Is it Ed Reed that had like the super?
I don't think so. I think Clinton, you could have just stopped at Clinton Portis. He has the I don't know anyone else.
Like
that
Clinton
has
Portis is kind of a
thick neck as
specific
that
pole.
guy.
Who else? Terrell Suggs. Didn't Suggs have like the thick neck? Maybe is that?
Yeah, I think some of those guys, their traps are just so big that it looks like their traps just go straight from their shoulders up to their neck.
Well, that's
Yeah, can't be
similar to
doing that.
me. Yeah,
Double chin sit.
the amount of muscle I have up here is insane, as you could tell. But I'm a one button guy, and you're a button all the way up guy. Like that's wild. What?
Well, I don't know, dude. I just like
Now you immediately unbutton it.
I had
Your pressure finest.
I had one button all day, and then I
just relax a little, bro. Yeah, I mean that's
dude.
fine. Yeah, show a little neck. There you go.
Definitely feels a little bit better. I don't feel like I'm talking with my,
you know, your tongue is being forced out of your mouth, like when you're getting choked out. But my golf game this last week has been in a bad spot. I'm not feeling good about it, and I've done some reflecting. So first of all, I can't play in extreme heat. Like that is just flat out. It's not for me. I cannot do it. Last week I played. So Monday wasn't bad, but Monday my swing just kind of fell out of sorts. And then we played Wednesday at a really nice country club called Matitaconk, which they've had Corn Ferry Tour events at. Like very, very nice course. But we walked. We had caddies, but we walked. It was like 88 degrees and probably 80 to 90% humidity. And everything was just sticking to me. Like I could not focus on the golf at all. And I almost get to a panicky state where I'm not even like thinking about my golf swing. I'm not in my right mind. Do you remember that Mr. Krabs meme where he's like sweating and like looking around confused? That's how I am when I play a hot round of golf. Like I just cannot regulate myself. There was at one point I was like, am I going to make it out of here? Okay. And we're walking. So I'm like, just give me a fucking club.
What was the story on that? Or did they not have carts there? Is it a walking only golf course in general, or is it the weather conditions of the course?
No, they have a big caddy program out there. So the members, I was playing with Mike, who owns Golf Republic that I teach at in the winter. So he plays there pretty frequently, a couple times a week, and he likes to walk. And some people just oddly enjoy the heat. I don't understand it at all. So I was kind of the odd man out. I would have 100% taken a cart, but everyone else is like, yeah, let's walk. I'm like, and in a vacuum, I have no problem with walking, especially if you have a caddy. I walk. I'm a hot boy walk guy. Like I like walking, but when it is that fucking hot out, dude, and you're trying to play in 4 hours, you know, it feels like you're constantly kind of rushing in a way of get to the ball, don't have a lot of time to mold this thing over, just hit it. And I was so fucking hot that I just was swinging at it just to get the ball in the hole to get into the clubhouse. Like I didn't want to be that guy that totally quits and just be poopy pants. And I didn't play terribly, but once I got so hot, it was just it didn't even matter. And my thighs were just chafing so hard because I was so sweaty. My boxers were like sticking to my legs. My shirt was like stuck to my back. I couldn't really, everything was just, it felt like I just got out of a pool in my clothes.
You were just quiet quitting. You weren't out loud quitting. You were quiet quitting the whole round.
Yes, exactly. I didn't want to say it to anybody else, but I was like, I'm done here. And then they're like, let's have lunch on the patio. I'm like, yeah, let's sit outside for another hour. Like when there's AC right in there.
Your whole light blue shirts turned to navy.
Well, I definitely.
Mitchell, I thought you wore a light blue shirt to the course today. Oh no, this is a stark, hard navy now.
Yeah, it's color changing. And then I played again on Thursday, and same deal, like 88 degrees. We were riding that day. Cool country club called Forest Hill Field Club out here. Pretty exclusive spot, so I was glad to be able to play it. But it just got so fucking hot too that I drank over 100 ounces of water and did not pee once. It was insane. I filled this thing up 3 separate times, which I think is, you know, it's more than 2 water bottles. And I chugged it on top of like a Gatorade. And at that point, you can't even drink alcohol. I had one Surfside and it just did nothing. Like I didn't feel it whatsoever because I just sweated it straight out. But I did end up quiet quitting on that round as well because I was too hot to enjoy myself. Like it just flat out was not fun.
Yeah,
and I don't get how people regulate themselves. Like maybe I need to plan better. Maybe I need to pack like one of those neck towels. I don't know, but it has me fucked up.
Yeah, I think you need a cooling towel. I think that's actually one of the gifts this weekend for the tournament that I'm coming out to see you in, that we're going to play in this weekend out in Valley Brook Country Club in New Jersey. We get a cooling towel from one of our partners. So you'll have a cooling towel. You can wrap that around your neck. But I see where you're coming from too, especially if you're not hitting it well. It's like that cycle of the more you don't hit it well, the more you want to quiet quit. And then if you're hot too, it's like, all right, sometimes it's just, you're just done with it. And if you're not hitting it well and then you are getting too hot, then you continue to not hit it well and you can't find it. There's just no way to find it, especially if you're not playing in tournament where you need to find it, or at least try to find it, like act like you need to do something good, make a few pars or whatever. But yeah, if I'm not hitting it well, dude, everything just becomes harder. Walking becomes harder. Taking your bag off becomes harder. How was the caddy situation though? Was that because we've played with a caddy a few times? Unfortunately, the last time we did, it didn't end up well for him. But what was the caddy like walking? Because I actually, now that I think about it, I don't ever think I've had a caddy, but only a 4 caddy. So I don't think I've had a caddy actually walk along with me. But getting the reads, I don't know. I just feel like when we played with the caddy, I mean, I played pretty well at Castle Pines that day, but it just feels like golf is a little easier. And you feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm on tour at that point. I'm like, this guy's telling me what to do. He's telling me where it breaks. I feel like I can visualize shots a little bit better when somebody else is telling me exactly what it needs to be. So how's the caddy experience, even though you were overheating in your own personal sauna there?
It was fine. I mean, so this guy was double bagging it. We had 2 guys double bagging, and I honestly just had so much sympathy for them that I was like, what the fuck are they even like? I would, if you had to do this every day, carry 2 golf bags, 18 holes in that kind of heat. And these guys were like not young dudes. Our caddy was probably in his 50s. And he had like a couple cocktails, super chill, but I'm just like, good on you, man. That and he was a golf instructor for years, and now he just caddies. Which the idea of caddying is great. Like I would 4 caddy, I would 100%, if I could have a 4 caddy loop every day and just do 4 caddying for the money those guys make, I would do it right now, no questions asked. But to carry a single bag and to make, $150, $200 in 4.5 hours on a single bag, like that just, no, that doesn't do it for me. Now he was double bagging, so he probably made like $350, $400 off of us. So that's a pretty good day for 4.5, 5 hour, 4 hours, whatever. That was solid. But if I'm being honest, and maybe it's just my level of golf, but a lot of the reads were not necessarily correct. And there really wasn't anything that he told me that I wouldn't have known. And I think
we're just calling out our caddy. You're taking you hitting it bad to a whole new level.
No,
talking caddy. That works there. This is you're going to talk about Rory sour grapes later. This sounds like cotton candy grapes to me.
No, this is fucking the dead honest truth. Like there really wasn't much that he told me that I wouldn't have known. And maybe just because I wasn't hitting it that great anyway, but it was more of a, I don't know. It just, nothing really was clicking for me that day. And so I probably was annoyed anyways, but he flat out gave me the wrong read on a couple putts and he owned it. He was like, that's on me.
Oh, like, okay. As long as he's owning it and you're not just being like, oh, this guy's.
I'm not the guy that's like, oh, you fucking gave me the wrong read. I'm not having it out with my caddy. Like we're just playing.
You said that to me multiple times when I've caddied for you.
Well, that's because you don't know how to read greens and you're fucking terrible at it. So that's why I would almost rather just have a caddy carry my bag and not even say anything. You know what I mean? Just be like, this is the aim point, but especially on the greens.
Shut up and caddy.
Yeah. What the old saying is with caddies, shut up, keep up, shut up and keep up. I want to say that's what it is. But the green reading was tough because it was almost getting more into my mind where he's like, this one's super quick, and it wasn't super quick, and then this one's slow, and I don't know, that maybe my game just wasn't dialed in enough to really appreciate the caddying and to feel like I got something out of it. But at the end of the day, I was like, fuck, man. When you're comparing it to a golf cart, for me to be like, I'd rather walk and play and have a caddy for 18 holes or just ride and not have a caddy. I'm taking a golf cart with no caddy all the time because I, generally speaking, unless I'm playing the most impossible golf course in the world, that's what rangefinders, technology nowadays, fucking is. It's like it's taking everyone's jobs. You really don't need a caddy. You can shoot anything that you want to shoot. Like, this is this distance, this is that distance. And the greens, it's just kind of a personal green reading thing where you can kind of tell, general direction. Let's just put it this way. I didn't play any better because I had a caddy, so it's tough. So I did enjoy it though.
I feel like a lot of the places I've played that haven't been my normal spots lately, first of all, the amount of change there is in your like vantage points and your viewpoints and your perception of depth and distance when you play a new golf course. I don't know if everybody deals with this, but I have such an issue with it.
Me too.
I look at a bunker that I think is 180 yards out and it's 250, or it's usually kind of the other way around. I'm like, oh, I can clear that bunker easily. And then somebody tells me, or I look on the cart or I shoot it and it's 295. And I'm like, oh God, that's way further than I would have anticipated. And a lot of, especially the courses I was playing in Vegas, there's so many shots where you can't really see where you're hitting it. So you just kind of guess. And not that I always hit it in the spot that I envision, because that would be super nice. But I hit it to where I thought it was going to be good. And then you go up there and you're like, oh, that's kind of fucked. And so that's part of golf in general, is you kind of got to have a mindset of like, I know that I hit the shot that I wanted to. And that's something I'm really working on mentally in golf in general, is like, I hit the shot that I wanted to hit. So I just deal with the consequences afterwards.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And I also realized too, when we were playing Matitaconk and also this other place, Forest Hill. I'm sorry, I was getting a little spacey. But when I play, I'm so used to playing the back tees, and not like, I'm not a long hitter. I'm not talking about like I'm big shit for playing the back tees. I don't hit it far enough to get in trouble from the back tees generally. So then when I go up and play the blues, the distance for me doesn't help me when I can reach this fairway bunker or this fair. It seemed like at Matitaconk, especially, every fairway bottlenecked right at like 260 up from the blue tee, where it'd probably be 280 from the black tee, 290. And I could just rip it and I would be in the fairway. Granted, I'd have an extra club in, but that's just my game. I'm used to that. So I was actually talking to the caddy about it. He's like, yeah, I generally play better from the back tees as well, because I'm not trying to fit the driver in these small little bottlenecks and shit. I'm just like, I know I can't reach it, and I've got a 40-yard wide fairway. I can just rip this thing. So I kind of struggled there as well with like getting a little too cute. And I will say Matitaconk is very well laid out as well, where the bunkers are visually, even if they're not in play, they look like they're in play. So it kind of plays tricks with your mind where it looks like you don't have much room, but you do. So it was just a combo of a lot of stuff. And also I'm playing golf today. That's why I'm dressed for golf. Because I'm leaving right after this. Oh, okay. My fault. But I am just committing.
Wait, are you playing golf today?
I'm playing today.
Where are you playing golf today?
Didn't know if I mentioned it. Playing at the Rose today. So nice. With some buddies. Yeah, a little home game. But I'm just going to commit to cutting the ball. Like, I am done trying to draw it, especially off the tee. Missing tee shots right. I'm just going to hit a fade, just commit to the fade, because I was trying to get too cute with it. And the ball striking just got rough. And then I'm leaning back and I'm quitting on it, hitting these high right shots. I was getting pissed. Like, and then I just give up. And like you said, when you're in that kind of heat, you hit one bad shot, it's so easy to give up. Like, I'm one poor shot away from being like, I'm out mentally, you know, I'll keep playing, but my will to play good golf in that kind of heat, especially like you said, with nothing on the line, it's borderline zero. And maybe that's an unfortunate part of golf that I've gotten to, because I played with this other kid who works at Golf Republic. He's like early 20s, just getting into golf now, super into it. And it was like the best day ever for him. He's like, bro, he was like creaming his shorts the entire day. And I'm walking around like grumpy as fuck. Not grumpy, but I'm just like, oh, let's fucking get this over with. And he's like this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like, this is the best thing ever. I've never done this. And I think that's cool, but I almost envied him because he played like shit. He was like, for relatively, I wouldn't say he played like shit, but he had a lot of like, he was in the woods quite a bit. Let's put it that way. And he was still just so positive and like focusing on every shot. And I'm just stepping up there and fucking hitting it. Like, whatever happens, happens. I don't really give a shit. I was hitting 5-footers out of turn, just get it the fuck out of the way. I'm not waiting on this. Like, so it's one of those where I'm at the point in my golf game where unless something's on the line, I could give less of a fuck if I shoot 85 or 68. Like, that's just, it does not matter to me. And that's where the guys around me are probably like expecting me to play well. And, you know, it's golf. I hit quite a few good shots, but I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit if you see me shoot this or this. Like, that's just golf in general, you know? So it was an interesting week. And I honestly felt like a PGA Tour player because I played 3 times, or a live player, I guess, played 3 rounds in 4 days. And it feels like the round I played a week ago was like years ago. Like, I played so much golf in between there. I'm like, what even happened during that round of golf? So my game, I need to sort it out. I don't think I'm far from it, but that I just like need to write last week off in general because it was not a good week of golf for me.
Yeah, I feel that. And my golf game right now is in a decent spot, but where you said when you hit 1 or 2 bad shots, like, I have gotten to the point where I've played Inverness a lot in my course here. And then I played in Chicago on Friday, scramble. So not really golf. I mean, it was, but more of just a team game. And then I played in Vegas a couple weeks ago and had some really good rounds, and then had some rounds where I wasn't, you know, it was more for the views and the fun, like Wolf Creek. I was like not trying to post a number. And you're playing match play against whoever else. So it's kind of like one hole doesn't matter. Stroke play doesn't matter. Picking up a 3-footer, if it's for bogey, you're like, yeah, I'm not hitting that. I'm not missing that. But I've gotten to the point where now mentally, if I get to like the 3rd or 4th hole and I haven't had a real good look for birdie and I've kind of just been fighting for pars, I'm just like, I don't have it today. That's what I say to myself. And yeah. I'm like, I just plan on ending up shooting, 3 or 4 over par in 9 holes, maybe 5 or 6 over if it's an 18 holer. I just can't, I don't have the mental capacity right now to turn it around. I have the mental capacity where if I start the first few holes and make a birdie or 2, or just stay even par and have the easy, tee shot close to the fairway or in the fairway on the green, 2-putt, roll and just, continuing to roll like that, I can mentally stay in it and continue to make pars. But once I make a bogey or 2 and it's just like a frustrating bogey, I'm like, fuck, now I got to make a birdie to get back to even. This is just not setting up well for me. And then I'm just like, I don't have it today. And I want to speak on one other thing, just kind of playing the back tees versus the up tees. So I don't know in the member guest when we play Inverness exactly what tees we're going to be playing. I would imagine the back tees, but I played in a little member guest day essentially like 2 weeks ago. And we played the white tees. So the one up from the black tees. And it was not bad. I played the combos the day before. So a few whites, a few blues, but it's crazy because I was such in this mindset of my golf course being like, I've been testing out the new Titleist 5-wood since I smashed the face in on my 5-wood. And so I've been testing out the demo 5-wood from the shop a few times. And I got it the other day, but then I played the back tees and I hit it one time. And it just goes to show, like, at that specific golf course and kind of all courses in general, for me, a little bit longer of a pro player, amateur, I'm definitely an amateur, but a little bit longer of a course. Like, I hit driver more than I thought I would hit it from the back tees. And then I move up one tee and all of a sudden I feel like that 20 to 30 yards is like, I shouldn't hit driver, or there's so many more issues you know, there's a few trees that I can clear from the up tees, but then there's through the fairways fucked versus like being able to just blast it and know I can't go through the fairway. So it really is. I don't know what tees. I'm playing golf today as well this afternoon. I don't know what tees I'm going to play, but I have just different. It's so different from 20 to 30 yards of teeing ground, even for anybody. And it's kind of wild just because like I was like, oh, I'm going to take this demo 5-wood out. And then I hit it one time and I was like, the fuck? Do I really need this? Do I need to spend a couple hundred beans on a 5-wood, or do I just roll with driver and a hybrid? I look like a high schooler. I look like a high schooler with this mishmash bag. And I also just put all my clubs today in my super light TaylorMade bag with only the 3 top holes. That's really small because I might hoof it. I might hoof 18 today and try to see how fast I can play. I might have a group, but my group may be bailing on me. So if they bail on me, I've got the best round of golf set up because it's a post-tournament round. So there's a shotgun tournament this morning, and I am the first guy off after the tournament.
Oh, fuck. That's so good.
Yeah. So content coming today, especially if I play by myself, I'm going to see how fast I can walk 18 holes and what I can shoot in that. So looking forward to it, but I might also have a group. Just depends upon if Garbs and the boys have to do their fucking photo shoots or not. They invited me out and now they're like, oh, cause they just have physicals today, but now he's like, oh, I might have to stay later. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm fucking going still. So
yeah,
we'll see.
100%.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but either way, I'm going to go play and, try to see how fast I can walk 18 holes. And it's pretty hot here today, but not humid. And I don't mind the hot.
It says it's like 75.
Well, it feels hot because it's been so rainy and cold that this feels hot. And maybe it is more humid, and maybe that's why it feels hotter, because it's fucking rained here every day for like the last week, it feels like. So today's the first day we've had just straight sunshine. So I think it'll be a little bit sweaty out there, and I have a black polo on. So, but I am wearing shorts. Got the shorts on, so ready to rock. And I wore my FootJoy flexes to work, so I am full golf mode.
Oh my God,
ready to go.
You're wearing golf shoes to the office. One thing, going back to what you said about like when you make one mistake, it's almost like drinking, where it's like I'm either going to make no mistakes, I'm not going to drink at all, or I'm going to make 12 mistakes. I'm not making like 2 mistakes. There's no 2 to 3 an easy day where I'm grinding it out. I'm either having 14 or 0. That's just kind of how it. And I was actually talking to the caddy about that. They were talking about like how fucked up they got the night before. I will say one transcendent thing that they had in Matita that I had yet to see anywhere else is they had a frozen transfusion machine. So on the turn, yeah.
What a big dub there.
Yeah, on the turn, I walked out because, this is another fuck up that I completely made. I guess this could be my mulligan of the week, but I got another thing. So I wore brand new golf shoes walking because I taught in them the day before. And I was like, oh, these are surprisingly comfortable. I'm fine. I get to like the 7th hole, and the fucking blister on the back of my right foot was so big. I was like dragging my right leg around. So I had to go change my shoes at the turn. Like, it was fucking terrible. I'm like, on top of not hitting it well, being too hot, my feet are fucking killing me. I'm like, you're the biggest idiot in the entire fucking world. And then the next day I go out and play at Forest Hill. I'm like, well, I broke those shoes in yesterday. They should be fine. I wear them again and they fucking hurt me again. I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? Because there's not a good time to break in golf shoes. There really isn't. So I'm just kind of like trial by fire, but I'm at the point where I'm like, am I ever going to be able to wear these fucking golf shoes? So that was just another thing that
that's one of those things where you just have to wear them out on one of your hot boy walks and just deal with the idea, because nobody else knows their golf shoes. That's the one thing we had at the golf course when we worked there, because you would wear golf shoes to work and then you'd walk around the shop in them all day and you could wear them in pretty easily. But yeah, brand new pair of shoes for an 18-hole round walking in 80 degrees and 80% humidity sounds like my personal hell. And then you're quite more insulated and thicker and hate the heat. So I can imagine that was rough. And then you got, don't you just love the innocence of a new golfer, somebody that's obsessed with it, like that kid. And you're like, where did that go, man? Yeah. I missed that.
Oh yeah. No, I'm like, I am so far past even just grinding out around where there's nothing on the line. Like when we were younger and we used to try to get money games with the older guys, and they're like, I don't leave the pro shop for more than, 50, $100. I'm like, dude, come on, let's just go play. And now I 1000% get where they were coming from. Like, why am I just going to go play a casual? I have nothing to gain, like, I guess the experience, I guess that's kind of the whole fucking point. But
yeah,
me personally, in my mind,
if you're playing new courses and like really fun places and nicer country clubs, that's where it's worth it to me.
Yeah. But the whole walking thing just completely turned me off. I was like, this shit fucking is ass. Like, that had me in a blender. But the course was amazing. And Forest Hill, shout out Jeff Collins. He's our boy. He's my boy. He's the head pro up at Newton Country Club. And he invited me out to Forest Hill. And I think I'm going to play some more golf with him. But the invite was great. I love the golf course. I guess this dude who owns Forest Hill, he owns like a big electrical company in the area. He's a very wealthy guy. And I guess he treats this country club like his own personal playground. Like he's taken his Ferrari out on the golf course and done fucking donuts in it. He's landed a helicopter right in the middle of the golf course while people were playing. He just basically treats it like it's his house and everybody else is there golfing. And I guess the people, all the members just drink their faces off. I guess it is one of the most fun country clubs to be a member at. So it seemed like everybody had a fucking blast. The golf course, though, the greens were tough. It was an old school, I think it was a Tillinghast design. Like there's a couple like square greens. But these old school country clubs too, like especially Forest Hill, Matitaconk's on a big wide open piece of land. There's no houses on the course. But Forest Hill is like this old school. It's near closer to the city. It is so jammed in there, dude. Like there is greens where the next tee box is like 50 to 60 yards back, like right next to the green, where if somebody hits a short right one, it's fucking flying right onto the tee box. Everything is just so jam packed in there. It's a pretty small piece of property to have an 18-hole golf course on. So just a cool, fun, old school country club that just, it feels like you could play it all the time and it wouldn't get old. So I did enjoy that.
That's awesome. I love those old school country clubs where you just walk in and the feel is just like, this has been here for 75 to 100 years. Well, where do you want to go next? Do you want to go to, let's just get this out of the way and talk about putting your head cover on your fucking clubs after you hit, because this is one of the more unbelievable things. Riggs from Barstool had this post that we talked about, and I sent you. And so I posted a video from our TikTok. Follow us on TikTok if you haven't already, at Big Drive Energy, Big Drive Energy Golf on Instagram. But I said, a simple thing. I was just like, oh, I'm walking over to my driver. I'm going to put my head cover on my driver as I leave the tee box. And some of the comments, our boy Will Young, love him, got to play golf with him up in Wisconsin. Head cover goes back on after the 18th tee. If I see somebody that doesn't have their head cover on after each tee shot, I ultimately think you don't have a head cover or you're just a lunatic. And I can't believe I thought I would be in the majority. And it feels like this is a pretty split 50-50 scenario between some of the people. We got a comment from a guy named Colt on our TikTok. Man, I play courses where it's like off-roading. If you don't put the cover on, it's going to bounce off the cart and dent it. Somebody else said correct. Somebody else said no. Somebody else said, I barely remember to take my glove off. I'm not doing this. Somebody did call me out. They said, we're not feral, quotes, because I said you're feral if you do that, after he picks his head cover off the cart path. So maybe a little bit of a, I usually throw it on the tee box or in the grass. But then the real battle got down on our Instagram, where this is I do understand maybe leaving it off. Maybe a little bit. I'm just going to give some people the benefit of the doubt, mostly Will, because he's a PGA pro and is around the game of golf. I would imagine some people that don't know they even have a head cover. My Jake from CHGO had the Joker head cover. Shout out Pins and Aces, the really cool Joker one. He had it on backwards. It was like upside down on his driver. And
Missy does that all the time. She goes, what does it matter? I'm like, it doesn't fucking fit that way. Like, do you put a sock on upside down? No, you don't. You put the fucking sock on with one way facing the bottom.
He had it upside down, and I rearranged his entire bag for him. I was having such bad OCD seeing his clubs just being maniacally thrown into his bag in all sorts of random spots that I rearranged it. And at the beginning of the round, I was like, dude, I'm going to rearrange your bag. He's like, I know, it just takes so long. I rearranged his entire bag in the time it took him to hit one tee shot. And he comes back and he's like, wow, you did that so fast. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't take that long. But speaking of taking long, I have no idea where the comments are coming from that it's a pace of play issue to put your fucking head cover on your driver. I cannot for the life of me think that that's real. There's no part of me that believes that it actually slows down pace of play to put a head cover on your driver after you've hit a tee shot. When you get in your cart, drive up there, I'm miffed by that.
See, what the problem is, and I've been dealing with this a lot with Missy because she's a newer golfer, and I think you've probably dealt with this with your wife because she's learning how to efficiently use her time on the golf course, where it'll take her like forever to pick a club, and then she's like, I feel like I have to rush when I'm over the ball. It's like, well, because once it was your turn, you didn't have your glove on, you didn't have a yardage, you had no clue what you were doing, so then you felt rushed over the ball. Whereas if you have a yardage, like that's why you just have to use your time efficiently, so then once you get to the ball, you don't feel like you're rushed. But even the head cover thing, how many times you can just grab the head cover, hop in the cart with your driver in your hand, throw the head cover on while you're driving up to the ball, then you get out and grab your other club and throw the driver back. Like, it's not fucking rocket science. But yes, there is people that stand back there for 10 minutes trying to fucking throw their driver head cover on. It's like, oh yes, exactly. Like, it's not a milking table. Just slide that puppy on there. It's unbelievable. So I can see where people, the whole pace of play thing, it's like people can't see the forest for the trees. They think this little 5-second thing here is going to save them time, or whatever, where you're standing over a shot for 30 seconds, you're taking 4 practice swings. Like, there's many other ways to save time than there is by putting your head cover on after you hit a tee shot or hit a putt. Like, it's just, and like our caddies, for example, a caddy is he threw our driver head covers on every time after the tee shot, had our putter head covers ready to throw back on right after every putt. Like, that is standard. If you're running around, like you were saying, if you're running around with a bag full of golf clubs with no head covers, I'm not saying you need to go full Aaron Rye, but if you have no head cover on any of your woods or your putter, I think you just don't give a shit about your clubs, because you're going to have scuff marks all over if your alignment sticks rattling around in there, I already have scuff marks all over my shit. So it's like, take care of your stuff. It's 5 seconds, and it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah. And just real quick, another pace of play note, insane take I saw on the internet. I can't remember where it was, but somebody was talking about pace of play and being slow. And they were complaining about the group in front of them, not letting them go through or play in front because they were still waiting on people. And this person was arguing that doesn't matter. And I was like, in what world do you think that a group in front of you waiting on someone else doesn't mean when you pass them, you're just going to be waiting on somebody else? And one of the biggest things about pace of play is, there's a can of worms there. But at the golf course we worked at, in any golf course, the only real way to solve pace of play once there's been a slow group is either catch that slow group by the time they're at 7, 8 and let them skip a hole and go ahead to 9 and let everybody else kind of accordion up, or you're not fixing it. It's just a flat out fact. Like, you can't make somebody else go faster if the people in front of you, it's just like traffic. If there's 5 cars in a 5-lane highway that are all stopped, you can't go any faster. And so people think, they can play through 6, 7 groups. And that's another thing. Unless you're really efficient at playing through someone, that's not fast either.
That's
and like
slowing down pace when you play through someone. People don't understand that, but you're slowing that group up more by making them stop and wait for you to hit. Then guess what? The group behind you is right fucking there. Then how are they supposed to get back on track? It's a never-ending cycle.
And in the tournament I played Friday, we were 1A because 1, 2 through 5 were open. So I knew I wanted to get in before everybody else and get my stuff set up before groups started rolling in. So we were 1A, but I was late getting to the tee because I was finishing check-in and then ran over to the first tee. And so the 1B group teed off, and I was like, hey, we were only 3 as well. We didn't have a full four ball, but I was like, hey, no, this is not, you guys play this hole, but we'll we'll play through you on number 2. And they were smart, though, got to number 2, actually teed off. Then we got up there, we teed off, went up to our balls. They slowly drove behind us. That's an efficient way to play through someone. And then we actually caught up to some public. And so we didn't end up playing as fast as I wanted to, but we still played in like 4 hours and 10 minutes ish, or maybe not even that. So we got in before everybody else, which was nice. But pace of play is, I'm not trying to, there's no perfect answer for it. There are some answers, and there's some things that just flat out don't work. But the thought that there is an exact answer for fixing pace of play every single time, other than simply golfers just taking less time and playing faster, there's not. And so I'm sorry to break that to all of you listening out there that are like, oh, well, when I play slow, I know that this group in front of us is just searching for their ball too long. And that is part of it. There's a lot of aspects that go into it, but there's no quick fix, and there's no perfect fix other than players playing better. I know sometimes it's not a myth. Players don't have to play good to play fast, but that is helpful when you're not looking
not
for
losing balls is very helpful. Not hunting in the woods for 5-10 minutes every hole that can obviously add up to pace of play.
Yeah.
But yeah,
100%.
not every good player is fast, and not every bad player is slow. Like that is definitely a common misconception. One good player that is very fast, Ryan Fox. Now, this dude, have you ever heard a broadcast say that a guy was playing too fast? Because this broadcast yesterday, Dottie Pepper was implying that, and it was pretty funny because there was a couple images where I forget, they played 4 playoff holes. I think it was the 3rd playoff hole. Ryan Fox hits his 3rd shot. He had laid up. And Sam Burns was like 75 yards out. Ryan Fox was like 170. Ryan Fox hits his 3rd shot and is past Sam Burns getting to his ball. He is at Sam Burns's ball before Sam Burns is. And he already played his 3rd, and Sam Burns hasn't even played his 3rd yet. He was walking up to the green as Sam Burns was hitting the shot. He was already on the green before Sam Burns' ball even stopped. Like, he was watching it roll back from the green. This dude plays unbelievably fast. And somebody on Twitter was like, a 5-wood from 270 over water in a playoff for $2 million, and you take less than 5 seconds over it. That's fucking clinically insane. But that's just how Foxy operates. Like, it's absurd.
Yeah, well, I forget which playoff hole it was because I was watching on my phone as I was leaving the Rockies game and driving. And there's the one where he hit the approach shot where he kind of went for it, but he ended up close to almost went in the water, but he was down in that rough area. Burnsy hit his shot, and Fox was so quick to go that the camera almost didn't make it over to him. Like, as it panned over to Fox for his 3rd shot, they didn't even get the score bug up, nothing. He was already mid backswing just hitting it. And I love that. And that just goes to show you there where there was the little, did you hear the little, not spat, but there was the little interaction between Fox and Burns on the final playoff hole based on who was out. And Sam Burns said, I have like 270 or 255 or whatever. And Fox is like, well, I deal in meters. I have no clue what the fuck that means, basically.
Yeah.
And then finally, I think Dottie was like, yeah, Ryan, you're out. And so he just, within seconds, like, they're figuring out where the cameras are going, who's going to hit. And he's just basting 5-wood to an absolutely perfect pin. And I wish he would have made it, but because that playoff was it was a self-proclaimed pillow fight by Ryan Fox. Great interview afterwards. But
did he say pillow fight?
Yeah, he literally said, he was like, me and Burnsy kind of had a pillow fight there. There was some not great golf going on for 3 holes. But it was, he ended up winning it with a birdie, but kind of insane, a hole that had just been birdied all week long. Then you get into a playoff and it just shows where the screws tighten and everybody's par after par after par. But that golf shot, he said it was one of, if not the best golf shot he's ever hit in his entire life. And it was so perfect. And at the time, you're kind of at a disadvantage going first. But once he hit the golf shot he hit, he was so far in Burns' head that Burns was like, now I have to hit it close. Instead of like, if Burns would have hit the first shot going for it, because they hadn't gone for it in 3 straight playoff holes, Burns hits the shot he hits to like 40 feet for eagle. He's kind of got the upper hand if it's first. And then Fox, who knows what Fox does after that. But Fox was like, fuck it. I got the right club. I'm just going to give this a swing and hit it close enough to make it make it worrisome for Burns, where Burns then kind of changes his mindset and has to take the head cover off and has to go for it. And, just after Fox making that 17-footer on 18 to get into the playoff, Burns just had to be so deflated. And then not even making a birdie on the first 3 playoff holes on a par 5. Sam Burns today, outside of the $1 million paycheck for second, has to be feeling pretty sick, even though he shot 63 yesterday and just shot up the leaderboard. 62. Yeah, he's got to be feeling pretty sick about how that all transpired.
I mean, if you remember correctly, what did he do at PGA West when Nick Dunlap beat him? It was the exact same scenario. Burnsy is kind of getting this aura about him that he's a little bit of a choker at this point. There was a few, he could have won on the 3rd playoff hole, no questions asked. He had 75 yards in. Ryan Fox had like 30 feet for birdie. Not really close. And he's got 75 yards in, fucking lands it short, dumps, almost sucks it back into the water. Actually makes a good up and down for par. But there was just multiple points where he had Fox dead to rights, and he had a 5-footer on the first playoff hole to win and missed it. And apparently Burns is the best putter on the PGA Tour this year, which is surprising to me. But I just want to say that I know Ryan Fox, he's one of the most fun players to watch, and I was rooting for Ryan Fox. But going back to real quick what you said about how far out each one of them is and why don't they know? And Missy, we were watching, and she goes, "Why does it matter at this point? Why does it matter who goes?" I'm like, because it totally could change what the other guy does. You would rather in that situation play first, because you can dictate the terms of what the other guy does at that point. If you hit a phenomenal shot, he's forced to hit a phenomenal shot. Even if you don't hit a great shot, this guy's not going to go for it. And he's going to kind of play your game depending on what you do. So it mattered immensely, because then Foxy hits that phenomenal one.
Well, to me, before the shot was hit, it advantaged Burns going second, because Sam Burns could decide if Fox hits that in the water, Burns lays up, probably makes par, or maybe gets up and down for birdie, and he wins the event, not having to go for it. So to me, the upper hand is in the player that goes second until the player that goes first hits that high level of a golf shot, and then ends up putting all the pressure on the guy that goes second. So it's real Sophie's choice there of do you want to go second and be forced to hit a really good shot, or do you want to be on the offense and decide, okay, I'm going to hit a good shot first, and then put this guy in a position where he has to make a golf shot, and then Burnsy 3-putting it totally. You thought it was going to be a super fun finish, and it looked like it was going to be basically after Fox hit that shot, and then Burns 3-putts, best putter on tour, 3 putts. And you're like, dude, and not even the 3-putt, but also putting it outside of Fox.
Yeah.
I'm like, come
you're
on,
still out.
They were on the broadcast. They were like, oh, it's still his turn.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was Immelman called it directly, because Foxy was not putting it well. He made that one to get into the playoff, but in the playoff, he wasn't putting it well at all. And Immelman was like, Burns has got to watch out to not. He's like, Fox doesn't have a gimme. Get this down in 2. Make sure, because that would have pushed it onto another hole. Or it would have at least forced Fox to make that putt, because that's a tough left to right 7-footer. It's not easy. And Burns, he just hits it 8 feet by and then misses that one and basically concedes at that point. So it was a fun tournament, though. It was a great watch. Fox is one of those dudes who I love him because I started watching him on the DP World Tour years ago, and he's actually dialed it back quite a bit. He does have another gear that when he wants to get after it, he can swing it as hard as probably close to Bryson, if he really wants to. But he's kind of gotten this little fairway finder hold cut down that he hits. But that 3-wood he hit out of the fairway yesterday was 175 mile an hour ball speed with a 3-wood. So he's swinging almost 120 miles an hour with a 3-wood off the deck. He's got plenty of that in him. So it was just a fun watch. And Burnsy's just another one of those first tier guys that just hasn't gotten it done this season. He just hasn't played well. And even when he does play well, he can't finish the job. So he's in that that I mean, I guess Justin Thomas is one. He's in that like Jordan Spieth bucket, that Patrick Cantlay bucket of dudes that just can't seem to close the door. But I will say as well, Foxy had a big advantage finishing last because Burnsy was sat there for an hour and a half waiting around to see if there was going to be a playoff. So I did feel for him a little bit. He went in, ate a meal, hung out, and then went back out to the range. And that's tough, like to go back out and play more after you've been done for an hour and a half. So I did think Fox had the advantage, but there's quite a few people in our one and done. Shout out to me, by the way, segment 3 winner. Not a big deal. Please address me as segment 3 winner from here on out. But there was a lot of people that had Sam Burns in it. And for them, I would be, I mean, he still made a good paycheck, but that's $700-800 out the window, him losing in that playoff. So I really did. I didn't feel for Burns, but it definitely seemed like Foxy was a little bit more light and wanted to have fun. And Burns was like super serious, like dialed in. I got to win this thing. And I think that's ultimately why Fox won, because you just seem more loose with it.
Yeah, and Burnsy, now I'm very glad that I didn't put Burns on the betting card, because that would have made for a terrible Sunday watch, because I was originally going to. I told you that. I mean, obviously it didn't matter because I didn't anyways, but if I would have put him on the card and then lost, I would have been in absolute shambles. Let's get to the other professional golf tournament played this week. Live Golf, Virginia, won by Joaquin Niemann again. And like I said in the intro, the dude has won every other tournament on the Live Tour this season. So we'll get into it more as we preview the US Open, but just initial thoughts. Is this, how many more chances is he going to get a major and underperform and then continue to perform well on the Live Tour and just keep that process going? Because every single Live Tour event, I don't think the Jon Rahm top 10s are as impressive, but Jon Rahm has top 10 every single Live Tour event he's played in over the past year and a half or so since he joined. And I don't think that's that impressive, because there's, 60 players or 54 or whatever players there is in each event. But Joaquin Niemann winning every other Live Tour event with the leader. I mean, you look at the leaderboard of the Canadian Open was electric, other than the actual players on the leaderboard, but the way the leaderboard stacked up all throughout the weekend, everybody going up, down, chipping in for eagles, taking leads, Shane Lowry going 5 under through 4, taking the lead. Like, other than the players that are not necessarily household names doing that, RBC was electric. But then you look at the Live leaderboard from this weekend, and the top 10 is like, if you're
stacked.
If you're a mediocre golf fan, you definitely know 8 to 10 of the top 10 in the Live, and you probably know 2 or 3 of the top 10 in the PGA Tour event.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the Live event leaderboard was stacked, relative to the Canadian Open. So it definitely feels like a big win for Waco. But the funny thing is he's only 26. So everybody just keeps pressing Joaquin Niemann to win a major. And it's like, how old was Scotty for his first major? Was he 26? I want to say, I mean, he's 29 now, so maybe 27 in that 26, but it's not like he's 35 and winning. He doesn't have 40 worldwide wins, and he hasn't sniffed anything in a major. Like, it could just be a process of him maturing in his golf game. And if he were to win one, would everyone be like, oh my God, the most improbable thing ever? Like, he is clearly one of the top 10 best players in the world right now. Like, no questions asked.
No, I think I don't think the issue is him winning a major. I think the issue is him just competing in a major. Because right now he comes in great form every single time. He's winning every other event on the Live Tour. Then he gets to a major, and it's not that he's not winning. There's only one guy that can win, but he's not like competing. He's like he's forced to he's like making the cut barely in some of these majors. And I think that's where the disconnect is. It's not necessarily, like I said, him winning the majors. It's like, hey, can he be in the top 10 and be competitive on a Sunday at a major, maybe win one, maybe not? I think that'll at least give him a little bit more credibility. But right now, his credibility to a person who doesn't pay attention to the Live Tour at all and only watches the PGA Tour and then gets into the majors, it's a typical T40 finish for a guy that then gets put into the bucket of, oh, he plays on Live, he can't compete at this level. So I would like to see him compete at this US Open to just give us an idea of like, okay, he really is that good. Because the PGA Tour stands out there, especially a lot of the broadcast people, if he plays bad, they're going to be chirping him again, and he rightfully deserves it, I think.
Yeah, I do, and maybe it's just my own selfish reasons, but I do think he turns it around this week. I think he has kind of a coming out party at the majors. He hits the driver so well, and he hits it super low. He really doesn't work it that much. So we'll get into that more on Wednesday, but I do think he's got a good shot at competing, because the Live Tour actually did something very smart this week. They played similar conditions to the U.S. Open with very thick rough and similar climate, things like that over in Virginia, to kind of get these guys ready for the US Open, rather than, playing the fucking TPC Toronto Birdie Fest there was up there. So I think there's a good chance that a few live guys compete. Actually, DraftKings is offering a live special. Any live player to win it plus 300, non-live player minus 400. So that's kind of an interesting, throw a few beans on it and see what happens.
That's definitely worth it with how Rahm played at the PGA Championship, and granted he fell off on Sunday. How good Joaquin Niemann's playing. Bryson DeChambeau is a top 3 to 4 player at every single major right now with his form. And then you got the random dudes. I mean, I can't believe I'm even saying this. I'm going to regret this when he's 7 over after the first 8 holes. But Dustin Johnson's won a major here, very long ago, 2016. But he has won a major here. You got Phil Mickelson, who's looking to complete the career Grand Slam, etc. So that's an interesting bet. I think I may actually have that in my card come Wednesday. But
okay.
let's not get too into the U.S. Open. Once again, we'll be live YouTube Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern time for our full U.S. Open preview at Oakmont. But let's finish this pod up with another rendition of our favorite Mulligan Monday. This is where we talk about something that happened to us in the past week and wish we had a mulligan on to be able to essentially redo it and get back to our faces here. Bang. There we go. Look at that production value. All right. Do you want to start us off with your Mulligan Monday, or you want me to start it?
I'll start it off. So my personal mulligan was the wearing the new shoes for the walking around. That was terrible. But the other one, it wasn't for me personally, but Missy's uncle, we were down at the beach this weekend, and we were sitting around on the patio just having drinks like 10 o'clock at night on Saturday. And we were just bullshitting. And he had just moved in with his girlfriend, Andrea, and Andrea has a dog. And we were eating those like peanut butter filled pretzels. They had like that big container, the peanut butter filled pretzels. And they were just on the table. So we were eating them. And Andrea goes, Craig thought I had a thing of those on top of the fridge, but they were actually dog treats. And he ate 15 of them. And then goes, where did you get these? And she goes, they're fucking dog treats. And he's like, are you serious? After he'd had like 3 handfuls of them, just fucking wolfing down dog treats. I was pissing myself. And she was like, I never put anything but dog treats on the top of the fridge. I have no idea why he thought they were pretzels. I'm like, dude, was this like middle of the day, or was this like 4 a.m? Like, that's more acceptable. If it's dark, you're just grabbing shit. But eating that many dog treats before you realize it's a dog, he's like, they're pretty good. I'm like, you're a sick fuck, dude. But that was hilarious. I was like, oh my God, you can't be eating dog treats, brother.
That's amazing. My Mulligan Monday was, I've kind of got 2. I've got an honorable mention of a shaving issue again, which before I shaved my beard, I was going to Chicago and my flight was at 6 a.m. So I'm trying to leave the house at 3 a.m., shower, etc. I go to shave and just trim up my neck, and the razor dies halfway through, and I do not have time to charge this fucking razor. So I went to Chicago with half of my neck shaved here, and
oh my God.
And then I kind of cleaned it up with my to-go razor once I got to the hotel later that night. But yeah, I was in the airport with basically half a beard. Not a good look at all. And then my other mulligan of the week is, I've learned now, if you have to take a shit, just do it. Because I was so unfocused on my golf game for the first 6 holes of the scramble, because I was in shambles downstairs, that, and
just
finally
absolutely cornholing one.
Yeah, and the worst part is I found the bathroom and it didn't even relieve me by that time. It was so, I had held on to this thing for so long that it did not, like, I was expecting this just majestic moment in the fucking John, and I didn't get it. And then I was kind of just on edge about it the whole day. I was like, is this coming at all at any point? Never came. And weekend, a couple days later now, I think I'm back to semi-normal, but I should have I got there, and you know how I am. I'm like trying to set up. It's like 6:05 in the morning. I'm like, no, it's all got to be set up right now. And I should have just went, hey, where's the restroom? And just taken care of it. But I didn't. And it turned out to be really bad for me for 6 holes.
If we were to rank all time like worst places to have to poop, on the golf course is top 3 easily. We are a golf podcast, but regardless, even if you're just a regular person, because it's hot, the situation in the bathroom is usually not great. Like, it's usually gross on the golf course. You're in a rush. There's just nothing good about it. Like, if you need to use the bathroom, I make a point. Like, if there's any inkling that I have to go before the round, it's happening. I'm not like, oh, let's see if this stomachache goes away. That's like playing with fire, dude. You're in the second fairway, just like walking with your feet together like a robot because you can't fucking unclench yourself like that. Yeah, that's a rough place to be.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal for me. And now I've learned my lesson, and I've definitely learned that, like, hey, just fucking clear it out when you need to clear it out, and you're good to go.
You and your son can learn that together. Like, when you potty train him, you can be like, see, when dad needs to go, he goes. And then you also go and teach yourself that.
Yeah. Honorable mention for worst place to shit is sporting event. I haven't done it in like years, but one or two times it does happen. You also have to wait because there's people waiting. And I always feel bad for those poor suckers that I'm like, I just pee in and out, go get another beer. Those guys are waiting to shit. And everybody knows you're waiting to shit. They don't know where you're at.
I did that at the Met Stadium.
Yeah.
When I was there a week and
you're just like sitting there. You're like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah. It's terrible time. Not fun.
Speaking of clearing it out, we're going to clear it out for the rest of this podcast and this Monday. We appreciate you all tuning in to Big Drive Energy. If you a part of the Golfer Gang Network, I should say, if you tune into our feed right now, Mitchell's on the Golfer Gang Network Roundtable talking about the U.S. Open. We have pod today and pod at 12 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, which will be posted a little bit later on Wednesday. The full preview of the U.S. Open. We appreciate you guys all tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We're going to go play some hopefully good, potentially shitty golf this afternoon, and we'll report back on Wednesday before we hopefully hit a winner this week. I'm feeling a winner on the PGA Tour. And for another major, it's another major week, which are our favorite. We'll be together later this week, which will be fun. Getting out to Philly. So we'll talk to you guys on Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern time here on YouTube. Make sure to give us a thumbs up on your way out. We'd appreciate it. Talk to you then. Peace.